Chris, what is our fifth main topic today?
This one's from Mark Wallace. We knew Top Gun Maverick was going to have a good second weekend drop, given the word of mouth. But I don't think anybody, not even Tom Cruise himself, would have believed that would drop only 32.1%, making it the best second weekend hold for a movie that made $100 million opening weekend. The previous best was Shrek 2, which dropped 33.2% from its $108 million opening weekend. What are your thoughts on this record-breaking second week hold for Top Gun Maverick?
All right. If you guys will recall, last week, before going into the weekend, we said, my God, first of all, we've been gushing about Top Gun Maverick since we saw it at CinemaCon. What is that, like now 5-6 weeks ago? I can't remember how long ago it was. But we went to go see it at CinemaCon, and we were floored by it. We had such a great time with it, and we've been gushing about it. And it did great. And then last week we said, you know what? This thing has such positive word of mouth, and people are enjoying it so much. I made the following bold prediction. I said that any movie that opens to like over 100 and whatever $million, it is not unusual to see those take like a 60% drop because everybody went to go see it first weekend. I said, I'll go out on a limb. It was very brave of me. I said, I'll go out on a limb here. I think this thing drops closer to 50, not the 60 that you normally see these big blockbusters. I think you're going to see a small drop. And Rob, you went even further. You said 49, 48 even, maybe. Well, we were kind of right, but also like way off. And the news is even better than you sound. First of all, this comes to us from the good folks over at IndieWire who wrote, no, wrong one. This is bringing the other one. Over at Reuters who wrote this. Thanks to positive word of mouth, rapturous reviews, and premium screens, ticket sales to Top Gun Maverick dropped only 32% from its $160 million debut over the long Memorial Day holiday weekend. It is the smallest second weekend decline for a movie that opened to $100 million or more, according to ComScore. That's an especially impressive benchmark, even for a reviewed movie, because blockbusters like Maverick tend to be front-loaded and drop at least 50% after opening weekend. By comparison, Spider-Man No Way Home and Marvel's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness each declined 67% in their second weekend. That's great. That sounds wonderful. Movie only dropped 32%, which already makes it statistically the greatest second weekend ever in film history.
Yay!
For a big movie that opened to over $100 million. Here's the problem. That 32% is a lie. It wasn't 32%. Because those were based on box office estimates, but now we have what's called the box office actuals. And it's better.
Oh, I thought I was
it dropped again. 29%, which, get up for Tom Cruise.
Go, Tommy.
Turns out he just needed to turn 60 in order to have his biggest opening weekend film of everything. It actually made $90 million on its second weekend, dropping just 29%, already breaking what we thought was going to be the new record of the smallest drop ever. I think the next best second weekend ever percentage-wise was Shrek 2. I think Shrek 2 dropped like 32.8% on its second weekend. And quite frankly, that was a record I never thought would be beat. Because just the way movie going is today, the behavior of the general audience is we all go to see the movies much more front-end loaded. Opening weekend is when you got to go. To have this kind of legs is something we haven't seen, like I said, since Shrek, and I honestly never thought we would see again. 29%. I mean, even we were optimistic. We said, this is going to have a small drop, blah, blah, blah. I never imagined. No way Tom Cruise even remotely imagined that it would have this kind of a second weekend drop-off. This is the kind of legs that people dream of. Now, granted, it opened to 160 million. It didn't open to 250 million like a Spider-Man or something like that, which is going to have a bigger second weekend drop-off. Yes, but still, for a movie that opened as big as this thing did, to have only a 29% drop, I'll go out on a limb right now. I know I said it after Shrek, but I'll say it again. This will never happen again. I honestly do not believe we will ever again see a movie open.
I smell a hot toy bet.
I sense a hot toy bet coming up.
No, I'm saying it would have dropped more if we got tickets because I wanted to see it
you
this
mean
weekend.
Drop less?
I dropped less. I sent you a text. I said,
Yeah.
I want to go see this in 4DX. And then I went to go look for seats, and they were just the worst seats. So I said, let's watch it this weekend, this coming weekend.
Right.
So it's going to get some business again this coming weekend.
Which, by
at
the
least
way,
from us.
I can't go this coming weekend.
Oh.
It's Anna and mine's anniversary, so we're going to Vegas for the weekend. But
You don't want to spend it with Ray?
I mean, I'm sure
Maybe the
Ann wouldn't
weekend
mind at
after
all
that.
if I invited Ray to come along.
As long as we see it in 4DX, maybe the weekend after that.
Those theaters are so
Yeah.
fun.
So again, I'll say it again. I don't think this is ever going to happen again. I don't think we will ever again see a movie open to like 120, 140, whatever $1 million and have like a 29% decline. Like I'm afraid there are going to be people who look at this and don't really understand the significance of this. We haven't seen this before. And I don't think we're ever going to see it again. It is such a testament to the word of mouth. This is not the best film of the year, but it is an incredibly entertaining film that is just a good time to watch the movie. It's thrilling. It's got laughs in the right place. It pulls on the heartstrings in the right place. It's just a watchable and rewatchable movie. And if you haven't seen it yet, you do got to go out and see it. Hey guys, we want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Upside. You guys remember a while ago, I started using Upside. Upside is an incredible, easy to use app for buying groceries, dining out, or even buying gas. And with every purchase you make at those shops, restaurants, or gas stations, you are earning cash back thanks to Upside. When I started using Upside, I was incredibly impressed with just how easy the app is to use and how easy it is to start accumulating cash that I can deposit directly into my bank account, PayPal, Amazon gift card, many different ways. And like I said, I was incredibly impressed at just how easy and simple and straightforward the process is to start getting cash back now. To get started, just download the free Upside app in the Apple App Store or Google Play. Use my promo code CAMPEA, that's CAMPEA, and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Once you've got the app, just claim an offer for whatever it is you're buying on Upside. Check in at the business, pay as usual with a debit card or a credit card, and get paid. So download the free Upside app and use promo code CAMPEA to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using the promo code CAMPEA. Anyway, Rob, you texted me earlier in the weekend saying it looks like a 33% drop. And I was like, well, we don't have the actual numbers yet.
Right.
I thought the numbers might go up a little bit, but they went down. What do you make of this and what do you think is significant about it?
Well, I think the ultimate lesson here is that when you have filmmakers that really know what they're doing, Tom Cruise has said, we waited a long time. This movie was in development for a long time. Tony Scott was going to direct it before he passed away. They really, the people this to me is a testament to having creative people that really know what they're doing. This also is a testament to the relationship that Tom Cruise has with Chris McQuarrie, who came on and did a rewrite on the script as a producer on this film. You've got Jerry Bruckheimer, who's one of the great producers of the latter half of the 20th century, coming back. You have a studio in Paramount. I don't know who the guy at Paramount was that said, you know what? No way. I agree with Tom Cruise. We are not putting this on Paramount Plus during the pandemic. One of the great kudos to the people at Paramount for doing that, because I'm sure there was pressure, to not. John, they held this movie for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. And I think that this goes, as cynical as we can be about Hollywood, this shows to me what Hollywood does best. Creates grand entertainment in grand fashion. The people that created the original came back, and Tom Cruise demanding, I don't want to do this unless we can get cameras in the cockpits. And I think that this film delivers on the promise. I think we live in a world, John, where we go to these movies, we get excited about them, and they let us down to a certain extent. For the most part, this movie exceeded expectations. You think, hey, it could be good, right? I remember sitting in that theater with you. I don't remember, it was a week or a month ago, watching this movie. I would call it delicious. It was just a delicious experience. From the opening, when you hear Danger Zone being played and they just show you this random, it's not even part of the movie, these random shots on the aircraft carrier of those Hornets.
Planes taking off.
Planes taking off. It doesn't even have, Tom Cruise isn't even in those scenes. And it just shows that you cut to black, you fade up, and there's Tom Cruise in his, like he gets his own hangar. Whatever it is. I don't care. It was awesome. And everything about this movie, and then of course, it's just basically, think about it. It's kind of Star Wars. They have to blow up the Death Star at the end, to the point where there's even an exhaust port, a thermal exhaust port, to get those proton torpedoes in there.
You know, they used to shoot womp rats that weren't much bigger than that.
Oh, really? With your T-16 back home? I mean, dude, this movie just delivers. And when it delivers, you win.
You know, it's funny you bring up, this is also going to be, I think, a subject list that's going to be talked about for many, many, many years, because correct me in the live chat if I'm wrong about this, but I believe it was 2018 when Tom Cruise walked out on the Hall D stage. Is it Hall D? Is that right?
Hall H.
Hall H. Sorry.
There we go.
Walked out into that's how long it's been since I've been to the Comic-Con. Walked out on the stage at Hall H,
The small.
and said, you're gonna be the first people to see the trailer for
You're actually right.
Top Gun. I believe it was 2018. And here we are 4 years later. And you're right, the pressure that would have been there to say, look, the pandemic's got the theater shut down for extended period of time. We've got this movie, let's get some benefit out of it. And Tom Cruise and obviously the right executives at Paramount drew the line and said, no, we know we have a special film here. We know the amount of work that did in this, and we know that there's a windfall at the end of this rainbow. We just have to be patient. And instead of doing what Universal did with some of those, let's just throw it on streaming. Instead of doing what Warner Brothers idiotically did, let's do day and date release. That worked out great, didn't it? Paramount said, you know what? It sucks that we got to sit on this, but sit we will, because we're going to crap out gold at the end. And in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, 2 weekends, not even a full 2 weeks. We're talking about 11 days. This movie is already the biggest film in Tom Cruise's history domestically. Already. I mean, it's crazy the rewards that they've gotten here. Anyway, Chris, you see this, you're hearing these numbers. What's the most significant part of this to you?
I mean, the numbers are bananas, but I am going to be a little bit of a negative Nelly here.
What?
What was going to compete with it this week? Men?
But we've seen lots of big movies open without stiff competition in their
That's
second
fair.
weekends and still suffer
It's
a
very,
60%
very impressive.
drop, right?
But I mean, my theater, the Regal near me, right, has this movie playing 15 times a day. And then everything else gets 4 showtimes. So obviously everyone knows that Top Gun is the movie to go see this week and everything. I'm more interested to see how this is going to continue to go, because I do think this does have legs. People are going back for these repeat views. Ray's going to be there this weekend. How is this going to stack up against Jurassic World Dominion?
Oh,
yeah, that's a huge, because there's 2 factors there. Number 1, Jurassic World.
Yep.
Number 2, it is the 3rd week, right? So now really everybody has seen it. I don't know, Rob, how do you think? I mean, obviously Jurassic World is going to be the number 1 film at the box office
of
next
course.
week, obviously. What kind of a drop do we see for Top Gun? I mean, if this thing can just take if this thing can still make like 30 million on its 3rd weekend, I think they take that as a big win. How do you think it'll do?
Well, I will judge by this. Quick story. Elizabeth's mom, who's in her late 70s, and her husband, who's in his 80s, Elizabeth's mom said,
Sorry.
uh-oh.
Somebody in the, I think it was Cameron in the live chat wrote in, it had to compete against the re-release of Morbius.
Yep.
I'm
And you know what? I stand corrected. Morbius only competed against itself.
And did you
Sorry
read the
about that.
Forbes article that said Morbius bombed twice? Because it
Yeah.
only made like $84,000.
okay, but
we'll get to that.
No, it made like I think it was 300,000. But honestly, they never intended the Morbius re-release to actually make money.
Yeah,
We
that's
didn't
true.
even know about it until 24 hours. It was they didn't market it. I think they did it as a joke. But anyway, let's get back.
So
to
okay, so the point is, so yesterday she came over to have wine and cheese. We're sitting by the pool, and she says to me, she goes, "Do you have the original Top Gun on Blu-ray?" And may
I don't know her mother, but that's a dumb question.
And well, and it was very funny. And I said, I do. I have multiple copies of it. I have it in
Rob was
3D.
like,
I have it in 4K.
finally,
Finally, my moment.
someone was happy.
Yeah, it was.
It's
like,
media.
here you go. And I went and got it and gave it to her because Murray, her husband's daughter, Zoe, said they went and saw it and they loved it. So if you have people that are, in their twilight years, obviously avid moviegoers, asking, though, to see the original Top Gun and they plan on going to see Top Gun Maverick, this is not just every film. This is not just your normal blockbuster. This is a zeitgeist moment. I think there's something beyond First of all, at the end of the day, it's a great movie. Highly entertaining. It delivers on every level. But there's also something else going on. And I think that at this time, in a way, this movie provides hope. You know, and it's not just a pandemic. We got war in Ukraine. We've got all kinds of crazy financial stuff going on. Gas is going to top $10. You know, this movie reminds you of everything that's good about America. You know, there's something, in addition to just being a good movie, and Tom Cruise, you know, now even like you always say, winning cures everything. Nobody cares Tom Cruise jumped on Oprah Winfrey's couch anymore. Everyone's a Tom Cruise fan again. This movie just,
Tropic Thunder fixed that.
yeah, it's just all good. And at the end of the day, dude, this was a great movie.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Top Gun Maverick just became the most successful statistically second weekend in history, dropping only 29% from a movie that opened to well over 100 million, opened at $160 million and still took that thing. I don't know that we will. I'm going to guess we're never going to see that again. What do you guys think about this? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.